Welcome back to Recreational Garage. In this video we are wrapping up the rear suspension in this Mustang. So everything is all welded in. I've been working on that off camera, including this sheet metal piece that I had to make here to cover up the coilovers. There's some welds that need to be ground down, and then we have to clean up and prep everything for paint, as well as put in the last seatbelt tie downs for the rear seats that had to move for the mini tubs. So we're gonna just get through that and wrap this up so we can move up to other stuff back to the front end of the car. Anyway, let's get to it and see what we can get done. All right. Well, we officially have the rear suspension wrapped up. Everything is done, welded in. All the welds are ground down. I did get the seatbelt mounts in, so rear seatbelts are all there. Everything in this rear suspension is welded in, just needs to be cleaned up and painted for all the mounts, and on the axle side even. We got this top plate here in for the trunk where we cut out so that the coilovers would have room. So really it's wipe everything down maybe with some acetone, make sure everything's good, seam sealer in some spots, and paint it all. So I'll try to get that done probably before we do the next video, and then next video we'll be moving up towards the front of the car again. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.